Article of the week number 10, The Teen Brain, It's Just Not Grown Up Yet. When Dr. Frances Jensen's son were going through adolescence, Dr. Jensen was very stressed. She kept asking, "What were you thinking?" "Many parents are confused by their teenagers' actions," she said. Dr. Jensen is a children's neurologist at Children's Hospital in Boston. For example, her oldest son, Andrew, colored his hair black and red and went off to school with black leather pants. His grades also dropped when he turned 16. "My son transformed into another person. It was hard. I knew that he was the same Andrew," Dr. Jensen says. Suddenly, her children were acting like aliens. She tried to understand her son's changes in mood. Then, Dr. Jensen decided to investigate what neuroscientists are learning about teenagers' brains and why they behave in certain ways. Teenage brains are different. She learned that it's not so much what teens are thinking, it's how they are thinking. Dr. Jensen says scientists used to think human brains were finished by age 10. We used to think that a teenage brain is just an adult brain with a little less experience. A crucial part of the brain, the frontal lobes, is not fully connected in teen brains. The frontal lobes is the part of the brain that says, "Is this a good idea? What's the consequence of my actions?" Jensen says. In teens, it takes longer to access the frontal lobes part of the brain. Teenagers don't have as much of the protection called myelin, or white matter, that adults have in the frontal lobes area. Your brain nerves need myelin for signals to flow fast from one part of the brain to another part. In a teenager's brain, the myelin is thin. There can be poor communication between one part of the brain and to another. It's like having bad cell phone service. You're missing connections and messages from other parts of your brain. Partially connected frontal lobe. Many scientists argue that people 23 and younger are more likely to get into accidents because they're not able to think of the consequences of their bad driving decisions. Dr. Jensen said that her 16-year-old son got into a dangerous car accident. This might also explain why teenagers can be very selfish and self-centered. You think of teenagers as these rude and selfish people, Dr. Jensen says. Well, actually, that's the developmental stage they're at. They cannot think about the effects of their behavior on other people. The problem is that they do not have a completely connected frontal lobe. More likely to have addiction. There are more differences between teenage and adult brains. Nature made the brains of children and adolescents excitable. Teen brain chemistry responds to everything in their environment. This is the reason that kids and teens can learn new things quickly. But this brain chemistry can also have negative effects. Teens look for new ways to find excitement: alcohol, nicotine, marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, etc. Teens are more likely to become addicted because their brains like the excitement of something new, like a drug. Scientists show that a teenager who smokes marijuana will have longer negative effects than an adult. An adult's brain can return to normal more quickly than a teenager's brain after taking drugs or alcohol. The effect of the drugs and alcohol can last for 2 or 3 days longer on a teenage brain. When Will asked his mom, Dr. Jensen, why he cannot do drugs, his mom explained how drugs work on teen brains. Her son learned that if I smoke pot tonight and I have an exam in 2 days, I'm not going to get a good grade. It's a fact. Dr. Jensen said that studying neuroscience really helped her understand her son's development and give advice to them as they went through adolescence. Name 3 ways teen brains are different than adult brains. Reading question number 1. Reading question number 2. Why do teens sometimes make bad decisions? Reading question number 3. What do the frontal lobes part of the brain control? Reading question number 4. Why is it important to know how teen brains work?